Hey everybody, welcome to Spine Chill episode 48. So glad to see you. Here I am as always, John Wolfe with Gary the Hot Cross.
Hello.
And Sinow Beats.
Hello everyone.
And Doug Running Man.
Hi there. I think my microphone is fixed this week. Sorry to everybody that had to endure the pain of my headset microphone because some big dope didn't check Audacity before I clicked record.
He had the audacity to not double check Audacity.
Oh no.
True. That's exactly right.
That was such a clever play on words. Well done, Sinow.
I'm trying. I'm really trying tonight.
Very good. That's really drawn the listeners in. They were about to click off, and then they heard Sinow's joke, and now they're sucked in.
They're invested.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a great show.
We've got 5 hours of this, so.
Yeah, I was about to say, we got a great 5-hour show for you guys today. We're going to talk about DBD for about 3.5 hours, right? And then we're going to talk about book club for maybe like 20 minutes. And then we'll go back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre for an hour.
Oh, God. Waiting.
Can I say something real quick?
You get to say it's been the best podcast ever.
Can I say something really quick that I guarantee you guys don't know, but it's going to make you all smile? Today I checked, and Home Sweet Home Online had 450 concurrent, and Texas Chainsaw had 600 concurrent, which means that Home Sweet Home is catching up to TCSM right now. Concurrent
well, good for Home Sweet Home. I mean, I hadn't checked in on them. I think we tried out their new game mode and stuff, or their full release, and I'm not sure that we were that impressed with it, but I'm glad it's working out for them. That's great.
Would you like to guess how many players Home Sweet Home has at the moment?
200.
Is it?
1,000.
I guess it's lower because it's the time zones, the time differences.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I must be looking at the wrong thing. It's 71.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like late for over there right now.
But they added NA servers.
That didn't matter. Everybody just plays on the Asian servers because that's the only ones that have a population. I was really, really excited when it has 80. I was really excited when they added the NA servers, then it didn't matter. I was more just pointing out that, like, again, we're not going to talk about it for very long, but just it's just unfortunate because there's a game that's live service that's been continually. It's within a year of the release, and it's kind of been getting updates recently. It's just they're struggling really hard right now, and it's just it kind of really goes to reflect on why maybe the direction of the podcast moved away from horror ASIM is because it's just really hard to keep one afloat these days.
Well, I think it was the real cock up was because the default server was still set to Asia, right? And you had to go in and change it.
Well, when it first
backwards menu.
Yeah, and even now, like a year after that, because I feel like last June, right, was when they went Home Sweet Home Online from Home Sweet Home Survive.
Yes,
it was last June, yeah, and that was when they came out with the new servers. And even today, with all the updates they've had since then, it's still kind of backwards how to figure out how to switch it to the other servers. Like, you don't do it from the settings anymore. It's like in the top left, but there's like this little, you just click on the top left and then drop down. There's a drop down and it gives you like the pings of the individual servers, but they didn't really highlight that. They kind of.
This is why UI is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Gary.
No,
the UI
you.
guy.
I thought UI wasn't important until Gary said that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here
UI
to say.
Shmoo-I.
Yeah.
Shmoo-I.
I'm going to say something that might sound a little uncharitable, but it's kind of hard to have a podcast where 4 dudes talk about ASIM games when nobody fucking plays them in the first place anyway. If they can't be bothered to play most of the ones that come out, why are they going to listen to us bang on about them?
Yeah, that was kind of the final stake, I think, in that format was like realizing, we're talking about all these games and then they just keep dying, except for DBD.
Yeah.
Right. Like our podcast was basically reporting on a graveyard every year. Yep, they're all dead. We've got new bodies in the field.
Right.
I mean,
breaking news from the mausoleum.
The mainstream media loves like gratuitous violence and things to report on that make people, highly emotional. But unfortunately, we were depressed by it. Just talking about all these dying games over. Like there's just
we could have become drama. That could have been entertaining.
We could have, absolutely.
There's still
There's
time.
always, because even though the populations are low, but the drama is high in ASIM, that's for sure.
They've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, my Twitter feed every time I look at my For You page, it's that stuff, and I'm like, I read, but I don't engage. There's just so much of it.
A lot of the most popular streamers are people watching something that someone else has made and then reacting to it. So
apparently, some like popular VTuber has started doing that with my video essay videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like
of course,
watching them in full. Silently reacting.
How do you feel about that? I'm curious.
Oh, I don't care. Okay. I think it's kind of bad content on their part, but it's people that wouldn't have seen my stuff otherwise.
Yeah, because when I see like big streamers like just watching a Jim Can't Swim police interrogation, like they don't add anything, they're just watching it. I'm like, it feels a bit like they're stealing views.
Yeah.
From another channel. I don't know. Like it just feels a bit.
I don't think it's great, and I wouldn't watch stuff like that personally. But as someone whose stuff is getting watched like that, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
because I think any exposure is good.
What about people who occasionally watch trashy reality TV on their channels?
Those are my favorite kind of people.
Well, that's
like it's different when you're hurting an individual rather than like
you're not eating one of your own by doing that.
Yeah,
and also you add a lot to your commentary. I'm talking like I won't mention the name, but I was watching a very big streamer just watching Jim Can't Swim, and I was like, "You're not talking."
Oh
like,
yeah,
they're just getting up and walking away, and then just leaving the video going. Like, well, what are you adding to this?
Right.
That's that's kind of the line. Sometimes people would say TV. Too much.
Too much.
No, I haven't had too many people being like, "You pause too much." It's like if you don't like me pausing, just watch the thing.
Yeah, go watch whatever.
Yeah. No, that's the line for me. Is like as long as I feel like the person watching it is adding their own commentary and reacting to things, and not just like I've put on the cartoons for the kiddies and I'm away for 20 minutes to go eat lunch. Then
yeah. I mean, there's a big difference between like the main attraction of the content, whether it's a stream or a reaction video or whatever, being your reaction, and the main attraction being the thing that you're reacting to. It's like Sniper Wolfe. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Yeah, very popular YouTuber, but she basically just like watches entire TikToks and then goes like, "Damn, that's crazy," and then she watches another TikTok in full and just does that over and over again for like 9-minute videos. And that's trash. That's trash,
That's trash.
That's trash. Wow.
Yeah, I did have some people compare my video essays to Sniper Wolf videos, which I thought was really funny.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's just because it's non-gaming content, and so for certain people that only watch gaming videos, all non-gaming content is the same. Like H-Bomber Guy, Keemstar, it's all the same to them.
Yeah.
So,
because it's not that different from like if you do just no commentary videos for gameplay, I guess. Especially narrative games, like you just play the story.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. That's kind of freebooting too, a little bit.
One of my latest pet peeves. So like when I was doing my Until Dawn video or whichever ones I've done, and I'm trying to I've missed like one clip I need, and I can't play the whole game again to get this one clip. So I'll go, let me find a no commentary video so that I can just clip that one bit so that I can for 3 seconds. But they'll have like their icon, their little logo thing, their watermark. Yeah, I'm like, you're not adding anything. Just let me.
Yeah, I've run into that issue too, where I'm like, oh, I need like one clip, like not so much anymore, but back when I like did some like video essays, I ran into that issue, and it was so annoying when they had a watermark. Yeah, it was like for no reason.
It was great. It was great on the Dark Pictures anthology. Do you know how they're stuck on like the box? Like you've got the
yes.
I was like, cool. I can just put a black square over their watermark. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the one scenario where I'm like, you know what? We could probably just remove the watermark.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take.
Normally it's scummy, but not for that.
Yeah.
My favorite is when John's older, like, I'd say diehard, but sometimes I don't even know if they're diehard fans, but some of your older fans, John, are like, John is so lazy now. He's not doing the gaming stuff anymore. It's like, it's lazier for John to make these videos that require so much more effort than turning on a game, commenting over it while you play it, and then turning off the video again. Like,
also, you are making video game content.
Yeah, you're still doing it.
I know.
They're complaining about you being lazy, but it's like they don't have the, ability to just take 5 minutes to figure it out.
If anything, with your second channel now, I think you're actually doing more gaming content than you were a couple of months or a year ago, where it was like you did stuff on your main channel quite frequently, but now, because you're just like, I'm not going to edit, you're just going to get it.
Yeah, exactly. What a great tagline. Not going to edit, you're just going to get it.
You can have that.
Thank you.
You can take that one.
Thank you. Well, see, it doesn't count, though. The quantity doesn't count because it's not horror games. It's like Baldur's Gate 3.
It is horror. There's monsters.
Still a lot of
there's blood.
There's also still a lot of horror content on there too. I mean, I've watched plenty of Outlast Trials and content warning on John's Wolfe, and I'll tell you, those are horror games. So.
Yeah, those are. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm now experiencing what everybody has said to me about Baldur's Gate 3, where it's great, but when you get to Act 3, there's a little voice inside your head that's like, I'm not going to play as much right now. I'm like, I'm really enjoying this, but there's just so much to do in Act 3. I'm overwhelmed, I guess, in a good way. But
yeah,
I actually got a little bit.
Act 3.
Yeah, so I've done a couple of things in Act 3. I've went to a certain person's house and fucked it up.
Oh.
That was very fun.
When you say a certain person's house, do you mean, is it a very pretty house? Is it big?
It's pretty until you see through the illusions. And then there's a boss fight at the end that has like a kind of musical number.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're talking. Hang on, you are talking.
Detected and caught. Held, you know that one?
What? How did I haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, you haven't gone into that? Okay, I'm not going to say anymore. But
apparently. Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The musical number. I was sitting there. I was taken aback by that. I just played that the other day.
What the fuck is Sinow talking about?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to say too much in case there's people out there that didn't expect a random Baldur's Gate 3 spoiler, at least without us like signposting it. Like, we're going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 spoilers. But yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
We're
but
going
it's
to talk
like,
about Baldur's Gate 3 spoilers.
Are we okay? Are we okay to clear that?
Is that okay? I mean, I think that's okay.
Yeah, I'm happy.
The game's been out for like 8 months, right?
So, yeah, it's old now.
9 months. Yeah.
Somebody spoiled who the final boss was the other day for me, and I was like, it's more about the journey. I don't care about who exactly the final boss is. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't beaten the game yet. I would assume it's the Elder Brain.
I'm curious how that would be like a spoiler. Like the final boss is that thing that in Act 2 they went, this is the final boss, and it's like, oh.
Yeah. The final boss is actually Shadowheart, who turns against you. No, it's just my friend was just being very conscientious about it when they said it. They were like, oh, I'm so sorry. Sweet. I was like, oh, I kind of figured it was the Elder Brain anyway. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right. They lead up the whole game to it.
Spoilers!
I'm enjoying the game a lot, but yes, I'm seeing the memes about like, who wants to play Baldur's Gate 3? And everybody's like, me. Who wants to actually complete Act 3 this time? And everybody's like silent because it's just so much. But
see, I recently got to Act 3 on my second playthrough.
Okay.
And then I got annoyed because I decided to start again because I have one big gripe with Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment. I wanted to play yeah, basically, it just annoyed me. I wanted to play a Necromancer. And it's like I ended up Googling like the only really way to play a good Necromancer, like a wizard Necromancer, is to about, halfway through Act 3. Outside of that, you just don't really like. I'm throwing so many fireballs as a Necromancer.
Yeah. So I installed a mod because I was playing as a ranger, and the pets are just pretty crap for a lot of the time. It's like a lot of pet classes. It takes a while for them to get anyway somewhat decent, and it was a little underbaked. I was like, do they not have a little bit more going on for them? So I installed this mod that it just makes the pets a little bit more interesting, and each pet has like a slightly different purpose. So there's like quite weak ones that buff your party, whereas there's like more physically strong ones, but they only have like 1 or 2 things that they can do, and it just feels a little bit more engaging. Yeah. And I also installed a mod that did the same thing for Wild Shape, where it kind of balanced 1 or 2 things, and it made it so that I think it was Owlbear in the vanilla game. It's just the best Wild Shape. It's just the best one. There isn't a lot of reasons to use the other ones. So this mod attempts to kind of make it so again that there's like different reasons to use different ones depending on what you
that's cool.
need. And they're fairly good at not being so crazy overpowered. I'm just like, okay, well,
Yeah,
I have a cannon and it does 1 million damage. You can't avoid it, like that.
Yeah, because I got upset because like I got annoyed because I went against Balthazar, the Necromancer. Guy, and I was like, that's what I'm meant to be.
Yes.
As I'm throwing fireballs at him.
So is Necromancer just crap? Because I wanted to do a second playthrough as a Necromancer, but
rubbish. I might look into mods and see if I can make a good, fun Necromancer, but I ended up changing to like Sorcerer and Warlock. I was like, these all feel the same. I'm still throwing fucking fireballs.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I'm just like the spellcasters. So I've made another character. I'm just playing a bard now because Act 1 and 2 was basically me playing a spellcaster and having no fun, no summoning dead. So I've just started again.
Oh,
okay.
Does Wizard not have like a subclass that is specifically Necromancer though?
Technically.
But it's like the Trickery Domain Cleric where it kind of sucks.
It's kind of like you're like a wizard, but you can pretend you're a Necromancer.
Right. There's not a lot of like specific things that only the Necromancer can do. It's just like you have Reanimate Dead.
Yeah, occasionally you get like an option to go, I'm a Necromancer, like once or twice.
Oh, okay. Like in dialogue, you could just say,
you say a special line because you're a Necromancer.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's interesting because like I'm playing as Barbarian, and there is like constantly Barbarian lines. It's usually like you shout or scream at them, or you roar, or you say like I'm gonna kill you, or something like that. But there was constant dialogue options.
Well, I think it wasn't issues between Larian and Wizards of the Coast at times. I think I was told about this. Like I think Wizards of the Coast kind of were a bit of a nightmare to work with. Supposedly.
What a shock!
I know.
Right?
So I imagine that there's some things where like this is getting cut down because Jesus Christ, we need to finish this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not doing DLC just because they can't be bothered to work with them anymore.
Yeah,
that's kind of the vibe they had when they announced they weren't doing DLC. It was just like that the team like that there was an opening for it, but the team just didn't have the passion to do it anymore. Doesn't that kind of sound like more like working condition things than anything else?
No, I think so.
They're like we could have done it, but we're not gonna.
I think one thing that really surprised me actually was apparently some of the characters, like the story characters, what they call the origin characters, were quite different in early access, and then they like rewrote parts of the story. People said that like I think Will is a little bit more
interesting, evil.
Oh yeah, there's a slight more kind of evilish side to him.
Morally grey.
Yeah, whereas they kind of changed it after early access, and the thing is, I think Will's really cool, and I like the idea for his character, but I'm just like, apart from being a bit of a braggart occasionally, I'm like, I don't really know what your personality like super is. They've like rewritten it a lot to the point where I'm just like, you're kind of just a folk hero.
In my playthrough, right. I made him kill Karlach.
What happens when you do that?
Well, I carry her head around now, but Will does as a trophy to remind him
the fuck
of what he is.
That's kind of interesting though. Like the dark path.
He's very regretful. I was hoping it would turn him a bit more evil, but it just made him. But he's just like, oh, I think I made a mistake. I'm like, carry her head.
There, I have heard, and I've been thinking about my second playthrough of BG3, where I'm like, I want to play as the Dark Urge and be evil or whatever. But I've heard from a lot of people that playing BG3 like evil is really not satisfying.
Oh.
It's difficult.
Yeah, like, I did 25 hours of Dark Urge, and I was like, this is kind of boring. Honestly, it takes a lot away from the game. Like there was whole areas that I didn't get to explore because I was doing Dark Urge and I cleared them out.
Yeah, experience. For example, if you want to go down the evil route and like work with the goblins and work with Minthara, you'll lose Karlach and Will.
Right.
You just lose them. They'll just leave.
That makes sense.
Which means you lose Mizora completely. You won't interact with her at all. It just kind of sucks. And then like Gale can leave if you don't pass a check with him.
Right.
And that's like 3 major plots you can lose just by going, well, I want to do that one.
Yeah.
So I ended up in my Dark Urge. I just avoided going to the Grove. I just let Minthara destroy it in the background. And I was like, hey, Will, how's it going? Karlach was already dead, but
yeah.
I'm one of those people, I really like having as many companions as possible, so I looked into how you can get Minthara on the good playthrough. Where you have to do this weird thing where you go into the goblin camp and when you see her, you have to knock her out. in a certain way, where you make her temporary hostile and then you knock her out, and then she will appear in Moonrise Towers and be like dragged away for like failing to perform the killing of the Grove, and then you can convince them to not kill her, and then she'll join you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that
Really?
on my new playthrough because.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just gonna say. I was just saying, I'm gonna do that next time.
And I really like her because she is like still morally fairly good, but she's like, there's a video I've seen where you talk to that kid at the start of Act 3, the one that's like this little homeless kid that's like, have you seen my mommy?
Yenna. Yeah.
And there's a YouTube video called like Team Bastard, where if you have like Minthara, Lae'zel, and Astarion, they're just like, take a hike, kid, whatever, your mom's dead, bye. And I'm just like, I kind of love Team Bastard, actually. Yeah. It's pretty funny. So I actually really like having her in my party now, and she gives me a little bit of that conflict that if you're playing very morally good, sometimes it's like, and everybody agreed with you because you helped everyone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do want to shit talk one more thing about it. Why is there 2 heroic druids?
You're talking about Jaheira and Halsin?
Halsin, yeah. Why not give me another Minthara? It's so difficult to have 3 bastards. Because like Lae'zel's a great bastard, but like she's also like very difficult to get approval from anyway, because she's like, you know, set in her way. So I'm sat there with Astarion, who's a great bastard, Minthara, amazing bastard, and then I'm like Shadowheart, I guess.
She's a little sassy.
If you keep her with Shar, I guess.
Yeah, but then even then she's like, no, you should be nice to the kid.
Oh yeah.
You just slaughtered demigod. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments where I'm like, the planning for this seems to have gotten a little bit garbled, and there's like a weird result for the characters, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that, John, yourself?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty far into Act 3 now, and it's a lot, but I also kind of feel like some parts of Act 3 are like clearly unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you've run into that so far, or you, Gary, but there are some things in Act 3 that I'm like, really, that's it? Like, there's this one part where you track down these like fireworks, and the fireworks that are being like hidden in these toys and stuff, and then like there's all this like dancing around that you do at the beginning where it's just like, don't go up to the attic, okay? Don't go up to the attic of this fireworks place. Don't do it. And then I was just like, okay, how am I gonna get up there? How am I gonna infiltrate this? And I was like talking to the store front guy and everything, and like I was exhausting all the dialogue options, and I was just like, how the hell do you get up there? And so I was like, fine, I'll break down and look it up. And people are like, yeah, you just have to walk up there and fight everybody.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
I did the same thing.
And then that's it. Okay. It really feels like there was supposed to be something else, like some other way that you could do that than just like, yeah, you have to fight everybody and kill everybody. Okay.
Because
I
ended up sneaking up there with a lot of like save scumming. And I was like, nothing here.
Right.
So I just unhidden, just murdered them all.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things like that, especially in Act 3, where it's like, oh, I guess it's over, you know? Yeah. Which I wonder if they're ever gonna. I don't think they're ever gonna really update that stuff.
I think they want to step away from the game. If they're not doing DLC, they're probably like, we're done.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Wizards of the Coast is increasingly. I think a lot of suits now are calling the shots at the top echelons. I read an article actually last night, I think it was, about how somebody at like the top of Wizards of the Coast was like, the problem we have is that D&D isn't monetized enough. We haven't monetized the experience of getting together with your friends and playing D&D enough. And they had this whole article about like, they're trying to turn it into like a kind of Marvel thing, but inherently it's quite difficult to monetize a franchise that a lot of it's just about friendship. It's about just getting together with people and hanging out. So they can only do so much in that regard. And it's like, they now have Lego sets, for example, which are based off of D&D. Oh, how expensive was it again? The one that they cited in the article was like ridiculous.
What they should do is partner with Games Workshop. Get Games Workshop to start printing off like little plastic miniatures.
Oh yeah,
little army, and you can paint them and like, because Games Workshop's amazing. Like they must the amount of money they must make on their products, because I just feel like it'd be a good. I mean, I'd be tempted to buy some D&D stuff, to have little miniatures of your characters and stuff that you could.
And the four of us are quite. We're not like the minute anything becomes monetized in any way, shape, or form, we're immediately like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
love
like,
spending money on stuff.
Yeah, same.
Right.
I love.
Okay, the Lego Ideas Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tail set, $359 or £315.
Okay, that's expensive even for Lego. Wow.
Yeah, even for Lego, that's very expensive.
Surely it'll be limited edition, not available forever. Like it'll be like a limited run, I would assume.
Yeah, apparently it's available for Lego Insiders.
Oh, so it's exclusive behind a paywall.
That's you have to buy like.
Wow, that's for their whales.
Yeah,
it might be a kind of whale pricing thing, but this article was saying like, oh, what a great way to get kids into D&D by also making it a Lego thing. But then it's like it costs roughly the cost of 6 D&D player handbooks to get this Lego set.
Whereas if you want to get kids into it, you make like a small, $20 set where you get a couple of miniatures and a little puzzle thing you can do. I don't know.
Yeah, like 50 quid at most because it's like a special different set that you decide to, put a little bit more into, sure. But I could kind of see what they're saying where Hasbro has become very of this idea now that they have to like commodify as much of the experience as possible. But yes, there are some things that can be commodified, such as like selling things that help you play D&D, like the maps, the player handbook, all the little tokens and things
special
like that.
Special dice.
Yes, but if they're going to try and turn it just into try and make it like a Marvel universe, it might be kind of difficult, and it might start to feel a bit like they're trying to wring it for as much money as possible and like annoy.
I mean, I got quite upset with them when they started using AI art.
Yeah, we talked about that before, didn't we? When we were talking about Magic. Doug, I remember we were saying I would never have expected Magic to be a franchise that would use AI art.
Because the art is so beautiful on the cards.
Well,
like, I'm not into Magic the Gathering still, but we will get into it at some point. We'll play it. But like the art, I can't help but appreciate. It's beautiful.
Well, and like I said, I think I said it last time we talked. Like as a legacy player, like that was kind of what the foundation of Magic was built on. Everybody had like their favorite artists, and we'd be like, "Oh, did you hear who Mark Teeden's going to do the art on the new green card that's coming out in the next set?" Like we used to read InQuest magazine and get excited because they would tease what artists were working on what card sets and stuff, and we get like really excited about that. Fast forward to today, and it sounds like some of that Magic's kind of like going away.
Bro, my favorite prompter is going to be making this card.
I hope he types in anime big tits, bro.
How about big badass dragon? That's my prompt that I hope he puts in. I hope I get credit for that. Big badass.
I'm copywriting that.
Yeah.
So is this a good segue if we're going to talk about Wizards of the Coast? Is it a good segue to talk about DBD now? Or do we want to avoid, that for longer?
Actually, yeah.
Or do we want to, because that's happening. We find out that's happening.
Dungeons and Dragons collab with Dead by Daylight, which they're going to talk about, as of the recording of this video, tomorrow on their anniversary stream.
So Vecna is a D&D creation, right?
Is Vecna confirmed by anything but leaks, though? Because I think that all we know so far officially is that it's a Dungeons and Dragons chapter, or that they have something coming that they're going to announce tomorrow.
Vecna from Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
Vecna's an original IP of Dungeons and Dragons, and so I don't know if you guys know that the Demogorgon was as well. And so, like all these characters, the characters they used in Stranger Things were characters from Dungeons and Dragons. Like that's the humanized version. So the initial season of Stranger Things, like, they were playing Dungeons and Dragons. They were fighting the Demogorgon, and then the Demogorgon becomes this thing in the Upside Down. So Vecna, similarly, is a Dungeons and Dragons original character that they used in the show.
Wow.
And so the leaks have said that the new character is going to be the Dungeons and Dragons version of Vecna, not the Stranger Things version.
That'll feel a bit like that'll feel very Ghostface.
Very Ghostface. Yeah, it's the exact same thing, right? It's them being like, well, we can't afford to pay Netflix, but Wizards of the Coast will partner with anybody, so we're gonna get Vecna from.
I'd rather get the eyeball monster.
The Beholder.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Beholder is pretty.
Is cool.
Especially the idea of something with a big eye looking at you the whole time would be pretty scary.
It's possible that that could be it. I mean, we don't know for sure. The leak guy hasn't been wrong. He got Nick Cage right, I think. He got Chucky right. He got Xenomorph right. He's been.
If only DBD had got them right.
Oh, don't get me started, Gary.
Wow.
Don't get me started.
Nick Cage is okay, is he not?
Oh, yeah, Nick Cage is great. But that's mostly because
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage is doing the voice.
Yeah.
What did they not get right?
The game.
Okay.
No, I'll say this about Nick. No, I'll say this about Nick Cage. I'll say it about Chucky. I'll say it about Xenomorph. It's really cool that Nick Cage and Xenomorph and Chucky are in the game. It's just too bad to play them. You have to play DBD. You know, like if you could play a different game with Nick Cage or Chucky or Xenomorph, that might be kind of poggers. But because you have to play current DBD, it's unfortunate. It kind of puts a little, because again, going back to the history of Spine Chill, we were super pleased with the Xenomorph chapter when it first released. We all were like, this is a win, right? And then we were I think we were still pretty positive about Chucky, pretty positive about Nick Cage, but the problem is that those characters continue to be shoved into a game that is not going. The direction that the game has been going in for a long time has been poor, and it continues to they continue to show us that they have no idea how to take us out of that direction. It just gets more and more poor. And I guess what I'm gonna say is that if the chapter reveal tomorrow doesn't also include a lot of changes to the core game on some level, I think they're going to lose a lot of players, and I think that they might lose me for a while, if not for good. Like, it's getting to that point where it's another exciting, shiny DLC with cool characters and cool art and cool music is not going to make up for the issues that the game is suffering on like a large scale. And I can tell you guys all about why I feel that way. Want, or you can let the comments down if we talk about it later. It's whatever you guys want, but I've been thinking about this stuff for a long time, and as you guys have gone away from the game one by one, like it seems like John kind of stepped away Sinow stepped away forever ago. He moved away from DBD as a main game, or even like a huge part of your content. Then John started to slip away, and then Gary slipped away, and I've been like the last one holding out, and I still continue to make the content, but like I'm getting to my limit. And for me it's like I don't even know what I would do next. But it's a really, and I guess maybe I'm almost empathizing with the people that we've been kind of teasing about for years with the whole what would they do without DBD? I kind of feeling that way too, because I'm at a point where like, how do I even make this content enjoyable?
I wouldn't mind hearing your opinions on like what's wrong with DBD, because Doug, you are probably the most dedicated person outside of like Ots, who's like lives and breathes the game.
Nah, I'm more dedicated.
Honestly, maybe you're putting
in the casual compared to me.
Putting in the reps off stream, huh? No, yeah, okay.
But you play DBD Mobile, for fuck's sake.
I do, I still do, and DBD Mobile is a better game than DBD Live. Identity V is a better game than DBD. The problem, here's the biggest mistake I ever made, was playing a bunch of other games. I've been playing Rainbow Six, I've been playing Fortnite, I'm playing Valorant, DBD Mobile, I've been playing Identity V, and I'm realizing like Dead by Daylight has no fucking excuse for being this bad at this point, for how much time and effort and money they've made and put into it. And okay, so here's the core issue that I have.
Can I just jump in for just 1 second?
Do it.
We should play some Rainbow Six Siege. I've been playing it as well. It's so good.
Love to.
There's some real fun looking new characters. And the levels are way better now.
You know what those guys have done? They've done things like Project Health, where they shut the game down for a little while and they like worked on the game actively.
Oh my god, right? I think Behavior is DDoSing Doug.
No!
Doug Running Man's being taken out by Behavior.
Can you guys hear me? Am I back?
You're
back.
All right, my bad. All right. I said what Rainbow Six has done is they did a little Project Health where they said, we're going to stop upgrading our game until our game is a game we can be proud of. And Behavior could take a fucking note from that. And think about that for a second, because your boy's about to get mad, all right?
Whoa, Mad Doug.
This game...
The Beast Unleashed.
Behavior Interactive has done a really good job of convincing the player base that we're playing a competitive game through their pandering to balance changes, to their addition of a MMR, a matchmaking rating system. They've done all these things, inserted all these things in the game that are like, this game is a competitive game you're playing. We have ranks, we have grades, it's a competitive game, bro. It's a competitive multiplayer game. But then they don't say it's a competitive game. They don't say it's a party game. They let the community gaslight each other into feeling like they're playing a party game, but then they don't do anything to like to declare one way or the other. Behavior is just like hands in the air. Hey man, DBD's win condition is what you make it. And what that is a fucking shirking of responsibility for delivering a bare minimum product to a people that are paying money for your product. Because at this point, if a multiplayer competitive online game launched in the condition the last patch came out in, there would be fucking mayhem on social media. Half the game was busted. Shit wasn't working. Perks were broken, maps were broken, the engine came in fucking sideways and twisted like a crunched up pop can. And they're like, well, luckily you guys all think it's a party game because we've never said it's not. Right? They can get away with that shit. They can get away with it. Oh, you play content warning. Hey, this game is silly. This is a silly little game. It doesn't matter. I was playing content warning a few weeks ago. One of the monsters just didn't spawn, so we couldn't see it. And it was carrying somebody around. And we like leaned into it, right? We're like, oh my God, this is so stupid. What a stupid little bug, right? They're carrying that person around and we can't see them. They're screaming, oh my gosh, something's got me. I think I can't see it. LMAO, right? Yeah, it's a fucking party game. Nobody cared. We weren't like, we're going to go tweet the devs of content warning, right? Not a big deal. You want to know why? Because when you play content warning, you're not going up against somebody who's got a fucking tournament this weekend and they've got every perk stacked, they've got every add-on, they're rotating, or you're not going against a team that's like, 7 tile, the killer's at 7 tile, I threw the pallet at 4 tile, I'm rotating to Killer's Shack, you've got about 18 seconds before I'm going to go down, so if you can get the background player to rotate to tile 8, he'll have a perfect setup for the save. Like, that shit happens in DBD, and that's okay. But here's the problem. That shit happens in the same game as a random person who's just getting off work on a Friday night and they're like, man, I'm gonna crack a cold one. I'm gonna jump on DBD and play. Like they haven't delineated casual from ranked. There's just everybody thrown in together. And then their matchmaker is an MMR, but then it's like, well, really only cares about two new metrics, an escape or a kill. So they're like, we're gonna try and mash you guys together. And then it's fucking strict somehow. Like, is it strict? It has to be. Because I play killer in my games, I'm like, there's fucking sweat pouring down my forehead. I'm like going nuts. There's 2 gens minimum every chase. Every first chase, like I'm going through these really hard games. Then I play Survivor and I don't finish two gens in a game for an hour. And it's like, I'm not going to be gaslit by you motherfuckers and be like, oh, I must be terrible at the game now after 14,000 hours and winning tournaments, winning games in tournaments against comp players. Like, I know how to play. Okay. So your matchmaker sucks. Your attitude sucks. Your balance sucks anyways. It's not balanced anyways, even if we were trying to balance it. And then you pretend like it's a party game, but you don't say it's a party game because you say it's a party game, you'll piss off the people that are sweaty and piss off the guys that want it balanced, right? But if you say it's a competitive game, they'll expect you not to ship a broken fucking patch every 3, 4, 8 weeks, however many weeks, right? So you just let the community hate each other. The killers and the survivors and the sweats and the casuals fucking hate each other and yell at each other on Twitter all day long. And behavior's like, oh man, guys, well, tomorrow we're going to announce a new collab with fucking Coca-Cola and Dungeons and Dragons together. Pop a Coke Zero and play with your favorite Dungeons. It's ludicrous, man. It's like, just pick a side. So again, if they announce there's going to be a competitive mode and a casual mode, then I'm redact everything I just said. And I'm like, here we go. We made it to where we need to be. Because right now, the fact that everybody that plays DBD is simultaneously playing a competitive multiplayer game and a party game at the same time is why the game is fucking miserable. And there's arguments.
I was going to say, read my mind, John, as per usual. Same wavelength. That was like one of the finest moments this podcast might have had so far. Actually. I love that.
Only thing that was missing, hashtag into the fog.
Yeah, hashtag
show my survivor.
Yeah, hashtag shout my survivor.
Show my survivor.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Doug. One issue that I've had with the game, I think, and one reason why I've had to step away is because like I can't deal with how the game can't pick a side, like you said, between casual and competitive. It's like I don't play killer much anymore at all because when I do, the experience is so inconsistent. One game I'll be against like SEAL Team 6 and I'll be unprepared for it, of course. Be like, oh, and then they just, they teabag at the exits, they do gens and leave. And then next game, I'm like trying not to get a 4K at 5 gens against guys that are like running into walls and like crouched out in the open where you can clearly see them. And I'm just sitting there like, I just want a consistent experience because having to go back and forth between these two things is just whiplash, and in
those situations, you've got the SEAL Team 6 like being basically dicks in the post game lobby because they're gloating,
Right.
And then
Yeah.
and then the other team that you've just wrecked at 5 gens are going to call you a sweaty like
Right.
tryhard. You're like,
Right.
you're like, I'm just trying to play the game. Like,
I was like, I two hooked all of you guys before you died, and you didn't do a single gent. Yeah, and it does annoy me too, all these changes that they've made, most of which have been good and I agreed with at the time, like, adding those solo queue icons and stuff. But they really need to, pick a side here, because it does get kind of old being like, isn't it silly that we're doing a collab with D&D? And it's like they really do need to pick what they want to be, and they've been towing the line this whole time. And I think that definitely is what you've verbalized what's been so infuriating to me about the game for years now.
Yeah, I think it's quite eloquently put together of how like they basically let the community go to war with each other.
Yeah,
because that's the main reason I kind of stepped away, is because like I'm just tired of having to talk about DBD and like, oh, this isn't balanced, blah blah blah, and then this person. I just don't care. I just don't care anymore about the weird drama that ensues between creators and the community, and I just give a shit.
I had this like epiphany. I was live streaming, and again, you can argue with what MMR looks like, and you can argue. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every game I go into is unwinnable. Every game I go into is, for the most part, very challenging, and the easy games are not that easy, but they're easier. I can tell the difference. But what I got to was like, you've got people who play this game and they get to that point, and that's not just me as a 14,000 hour content creator. Like, people that play the game regularly, Survivor and Killer, both sides, are going to eventually hit that soft MMR cap that you can't go down below, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your games go from like, if you play on a Smurf account, if you ever did like a Eerie to Ash to Eerie challenge, or if you ever did like the hardcore Killer challenge, where they get a fresh account and they play, and then as soon as they lose a Survivor, the killer is dead and they start over on a different killer, and there's all these different ways you can go in and play on like low MMR. Or you can jump on a friend's account and jump on my girlfriend's Switch account, and I play on that, and she plays on low MMR, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's a silly game. But once you hit that threshold, the game changes completely. And it's like, it's very, very challenging. And then that's the way it should be. You should go up against challenging people, right? But I started asking myself, like, what's the fucking point? Like, why am I working so hard to play this game when I'm getting nothing for it? I play Identity V a lot lately. You guys have probably seen me streaming it. Identity V has a legitimate ranked system. They have an actual ranking system where you go in and you play in ranked. They have little shifts of hour-long, 2-hour and 4-hour long ranked is open. You go and play against other people who are in ranked. And they have an MMR, matches you up, and you raise up the ranks from the lowest rank all the way to the top. And that is really sweaty. And I've never once been frustrated by it being sweaty, because I'm just like, this is what I'm doing. I'm in ranked. I'm trying to rank up. I'm playing hard. It's still an ASIM, so there's still times where I feel like, oh man, this feels a little unfair. But at the end of the day, I know what I'm getting into when I'm going into it. When I queue up on DBD, I'm playing the exact same game that a guy with 200 hours that plays 4 days a month is playing. Like, I'm doing the same thing. I'm reaching towards the same goal. Why am I working so goddamn hard when other people aren't working that hard to get like, well, what am I working for? What am I getting? 2 million blood points for getting to Eerie 1 on both sides? Like, what's the payoff? The payoff is only in the experience, right? That's what you get when you're playing DBD, because there is no rank. There is no rewards for anything other than purchased cosmetics, right? Or a battle pass that you pay for. When I log on to DBD, what am I playing for? I'm playing for the love and the joy of the game, correct? But when I'm playing, when am I feeling that? For the most part, it's just, everything is frustrating on both sides. If I play Survivor, I'm frustrated. If I play Killer, I'm frustrated. It's just a frustrating game with no payoff. Go ahead.
I think as well with DBD, again, another moment where it might sound a bit uncharitable. One of the things that a lot of people were playing for is Twitch viewership. Because for a lot of streamers who get to about 100 odd viewers and then decide not to stream anymore and move on with their lives, a lot of the times they pick DBD as their game because they think it's like a good stream game. I think it's easy. They think it's like a horror game that you can stream repeatedly. Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, including us at certain points, one of the things that DBD kind of didn't really promise us, but was in the back of a lot of people's heads, is this is a game that you can stream, and this is a game that has a community that you can be a part of and make your name as a streamer as this. But now a lot of streamers are like, it's not even... Like, some streamers are getting more popular when they move away from DBD now.
Yeah.
People are beginning to blow up Or I think my career got better when I moved away from it. All of a sudden, people were enjoying my streams and stuff like that in a different way, and I think that was one thing that, again, DBD kind of just got lucky with, stumbled into, where they had this like really strong Twitch community, and
wasn't it the Twitch streamers that kind of revived the game?
Yeah, we kept the game alive.
They kept the game. They kept the game alive for sure. Yeah, because like, I mean, when we first played the game Sinow way back, I was like, yeah, this is another one of those silly YouTube multiplayer games where like you play it for, you know, a dozen videos or something, and then it's on to the next one. You know, all these like games that like, you know, Vanoss and H2O Delirious and these multiplayer groups would play. You know, just some little dumb game, and then they'd move on to the next dumb game. Gang Beasts, whatever. DBD, sure. Friday the 13th, you know. And then somehow, I remember going to TwitchCon like a year and a half after that, and meeting people who were like I streamed Dead by Daylight, and I was like, you stream that game? Like, that's your game, right? And I had this idea in my head of like those memories of us just playing the party game in custom or whatever, and being like, how do you play that? Like, I didn't get it until you know, I finally got into it, and then I started streaming the game myself, and I was like, oh, I see. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool, and it was pretty cool back then. But I think things are so different now.
And a lot of you listening might have the opinion against what I just said there of like, well, most of us aren't trying to become a Twitch streamer. But I guess I would also argue that it kind of helps to coalesce the game in the zeitgeist. If it is popular with streaming and the communities can like form around content creators, it helps to coalesce a lot of the community and give like faces to it. So even if you yourself don't play to be a streamer, the fact that streamers want to keep playing this game and it helps everybody keep talking about it is still important for its growth.
Yeah, because I would add to that it's a sense of community. So DBD's in a very unique situation where it's a horror game, and it's got like, you know, Chucky's in it, Pinhead's in it, Xenomorph's in it, you know, and it brings Freddy Krueger, etc. And it brings horror fans together into one place, and it's formed this really broad but great community of people that just love horror, and it's a really easy game to watch. So people, and you know, as you said, Sinow, like people connect to certain faces in the community, like certain streamers, and then you raid into other people, and you learn more people, and it becomes this big, wide community that you are a part of, whether you stream it or you just play it or you're just in someone's chat and enjoy watching it. And I think that's more of why DBD's staying strong numbers wise, is because it's become a part of people's identity and their sense of community. And if you take that away, then you know, it'd be a shame to lose that, wouldn't it? Like, if for anyone.
Well, it's like a punk rock game that's gotten mainstream. Like, there's been like punk rock style, like, I mean, horror fans and people. It's like, again, you always hear about the bad actors and you hear about the controversy and people, you know, that are fucking cringe. But at the end of the day, it's a very accepting and open community in my experience. DBD accepts all shapes and sizes, all types. And so it's one of those things where like, you kind of feel like, okay, this is like an outcast community. This is a community where I can kind of be myself and do my own thing. And like, maybe you wouldn't feel so at home in some Call of Duty bros chat where everybody's just a bunch of bros and they're fucking celebrating how dope Florida is all the time and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, DBD's got this kind of niche that's like, kind of just whatever, bro. People are weird here. I'm weird. You guys are weird. Like, we're weird dudes. Like,
how dare you?
It definitely is like an anti-establishment type of game. It's like the anti-Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It is kind of where the weirdos and misfits go to play, because instead of this, you know, broing out, screaming into the microphone, you know, take one step around a corner and you're dead style of gameplay, it's like, why don't we just play a little tag?
Yeah. I threw a snowball at them.
I'm going to run around the shack, you can't catch me. Yeah.
And then to Sinow's point about streamers, and it not always, like, people will be listening and say like, oh, it's not just streamers that play the game. That's absolutely true. But again, somebody like a Jinxie in Rainbow Six Siege took a game that was like a very small, very niche game and kind of blew that whole game up. And like they've commented that like Jinxie getting so big on Twitch was kind of what made their game blow up and got more people playing it. So again, I do think that like we're all content creators, so we're like a little biased, but I do think that like the direction the content creation goes in a game does have an actual tangible effect on the direction the game goes. And the more streamers that are interested and excited about a game, games like Among Us blew up on the backs of like large streamers getting really popular and playing those games and getting those games out to a bunch of people. You know, you could argue that like Lethal Company and Content Warning, again, like probably wouldn't have blown up the way they did. Content Warning literally is like within the content creation space, right? Like it's like actually like that's the whole idea.
It's satirizing.
Yeah.
It was like made for content creation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And so between people that are making content or people that dream of making content. So yeah, it's just I don't know, man.
I do think that DBD has like a streamer problem now, and I'm not saying the game is dying. I'm not gonna be anything like that dramatic, but I have seen a lot of people, you know, people in this call moving away from the game, people outside this call moving away from the game, moving on to other games, and as some, and as we've mentioned, you know, some people have done better since they've moved away from DBD, and there's a lot of angst and dysfunction, I think, right now in the DBD streamer community, and I just wonder how that's ever going to fix itself if it does.
It won't. It can't, and the behavior has to fix it now because we can't. Where can we go? Where can the four of us go in DBD that we haven't gone already? Where do these people that are leaving, the guys that are leaving, and guys and gals and non-binary pals that are walking out of the directory and say, I'm done with this shit. Where do we go in DBD? Like, what are we going to do? We're going to make fun, silly content? You can't, because that's not the game anymore. Fun and silly isn't the game anymore. You try to be fun and silly, and you're just going to be dying on hook and nobody's saving you. Or you're going to be getting 4 out of it with a couple of hooks. Like, you can do educational stuff. You can get really excited about the ins and outs. You can do the theory crafting on perks. You can do drama. Drama's big in DBD. People love drama in DBD. Or you can be really sweaty and do win streaks and stuff like that. But otherwise, like, it's just like the game is being watered down to the point where everything is very predictable in every single match. And so it's more of like, again, like a competitive game. But the thing is, they're not treating it like one. We can't be competitive. You can't be, as a brand, competitive in Dead by Daylight because that's a fucking joke. People in DBD can get 1,000 win streaks on Killer.
Yeah.
That's not a competitive game. No League of Legends.
It's because although it has a skill ceiling, it's still a very low skill ceiling relatively in comparison to, like, you know, real competitive games. Like,
exactly.
Go play, like, you know, I mean, VHS is a great example of how the really competitive DBD people that, you know, were very keen to be like, I'm quitting DBD and I'm going to VHS. They all went back to
promised
DBD.
Land.
They all went back to DBD because VHS was like a far more competitive and well-balanced game, you know, with terrible devs running it, but still, like...
I mean, what could save DBD in my mind is if they had a playlist that was a ranked playlist and they had a playlist that was a casual playlist and they had rotating party game style stuff where they're like, okay, we got prop hunt this week, hide and seek next week, new stuff that I haven't even thought. Just give people content to make, because right now the base game is the only game and everybody's playing ranked and party at the same time, and it's just stale. And and they add game modes, and their game modes are different ways for survivors to sit on gens. That's all they are. Mm-hmm. There's never been a game mode they've come up with yet in DBD from these fancy game modes they're putting out that the gameplay loop changed more than one element.
I will say it's early days on their, like, testing out the new modes, but you are right. There hasn't like you think they would maybe try changing up the survivor gameplay.
Yeah, because why would any survivor main want to play these modes that just make playing survivor shittier when playing survivor is already shitty?
That Oni mode was like that sucked.
I didn't play that one, but yeah.
Well, you didn't miss out on much. You could have watched. You watched a 10-minute YouTube video. You get every experience that you could possibly have would have happened in that 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so it's like, you know, that can save it because that gives people content to make. It recharges the player base. Put the sweaty, and again, you'll have all the arguments. Well, all the sweaties will play in casual. So in my mind, you just get rid of the DC penalty and let the community police what they're going to tolerate in casual mode. It works really fucking well. You remember when the DC penalty went away? All of a sudden, nurses weren't a thing anymore.
Like,
you don't agree with that? I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I bet the sweaties will just play in casual mode.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't agree that we could police ourselves. I was like, I'm very interested because you're smart.
No.
But yeah, I don't think so either. Because the actual sweaties
League
that are
has
good
a ranked mode. Dota has a ranked mode. Siege has a ranked mode. There's like so many online games that have ranked and normal modes. And yes, occasionally you'll get normal games where you're like, oh my god, fucking crack team just destroyed us here. But why would all of these other online games do it?
Yeah.
If it didn't work for some reason.
And DBD has a big enough player base to pull it off. Like it's
Easily.
not like several years ago, maybe not, but they definitely they could pull it off now, and it wouldn't affect queue times too much. I don't think.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's
especially with the
crossplay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot now, and there's a lot of people who are really dedicated to Dead by Daylight, and they play it every evening. And I think it's just
they just don't feel like they
it's
have
surprising how little the game has changed in some regards, even though it's almost a decade old.
They could literally bring back the old rank mode, the old color ranks. They could bring that back tomorrow. The game
I would love
be
that.
Infinitely more fun to play. You would bring back so many players. Reset it once a month. Put everybody at 20. Give everybody their chaotic party game week where nobody knows what they're going to go up against, and then the sweaties get them. I mean, you see these guys get fucking P100 like a week after a character comes out. Like most of the sweats are not going to be mulling around at low ranks for very long when they do rank reset, and that gives people some variety. It gets all of us sweaties pushed where we belong at the top.
Yeah, whereas now, when it's rank reset, you go, that's why the matches are really horrible. Tomorrow's rank reset, or you're on rank reset. It's like, so you just know you're in for a few days of just, I'm not playing killer.
Yeah.
this is gonna suck. And then playing Survivor sucks as well.
Playing DBD sucks. Let's just say it. I mean, both sides have their complaints that are valid, and that's again why people get upset at each other. And you go on Twitter, and I know you guys have all muted a bunch of the DBD stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I barely see it these days.
You kind of have to, because it's just us versus them forever. And then behaviors very lightly dipped their toe in just a little bit recently, and started to get involved in some of these disputes that happen, which is maybe a good sign. I hope.
I still get comments on my which side's more entitled video I did on YouTube of people being like, "You're wrong. It's the other side that's," and I'm like, you're missing the point completely of the video, which is that you're all entitled. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I feel like recently I saw a tweet where a creator brought up a video to like make a point about smurfing, and it was a video from like 3.5 years ago. And I was like, bro, I feel like opinions change over the years. Like this opinion, I think this came out before MMR was. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man.
The internet can be weird like that.
Yeah.
People will see a video and then they'll respond to it as if it's just been made, sometimes without checking that it's like a 4-year-old video.
No.
Or 10.
Yeah.
Or 12. Yeah. Been there.
So we'll find out more about what's actually going to be happening game direction wise tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
I'm gonna try. I'll try to get this episode out quick so that.
Yeah.
Because people always would give us a hard time back when we only basically covered DBD of being like late, because we would gripe about something and then like 3 days later they would like patch it. They like nerf the perk we were complaining about, and then the video would go live and people would be like, "Oh, they already fixed it." It's like, ugh.
I think it's fair to use their past history as a predictor of what's going to happen, and I don't think that any of us should reasonably or confidently predict something good is going to happen tomorrow based on the decisions they've made over the last couple of years. Right?
I mean, there'll be some nice things for the game, but nothing that's going to make me go, because tomorrow I'm going to play Resident Evil 7 again. Like, I'm not going to play DBD. I don't care if it's the anniversary. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do to make me want to play the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Introducing new survivor, Gary Bunn.
Oh, even then.
No,
I've heard
Gary's
it.
Even then, you wouldn't play. Oh, come on.
He'd have to get a lawyer for them using his likeness.
I just sue.
Yeah, sue. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's an illegal.
I like
use
the
of my
idea that they would release you as a survivor and you'd be like, I'm still playing Resident Evil 7.
It's really fun.
I'm replaying Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I couldn't believe how fast the stream went by. I was like, I just beat
It's an
Marguerite.
excellent game.
No.
That's like the best part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Marguerite boss fight.
And I've been terrible with my ammo.
Yeah.
I'm just shooting whatever.
Well, it's not that serious. That's what's great about Resident
At
Evil.
one point, I was running around going, like, I've got to fight Marguerite in a second. All I've got is like 100 flamethrower ammo.
Yeah.
This is going to be rough.
But then you managed.
Yeah. Then I went and sorted it out.
Yeah.
All right, so I do want to, before we change subjects though, I just do want to say, like, I'm not quitting DBD at the moment. It's not like I do really enjoy horror ASIM games. I've been playing a lot of Identity V. Okay. So I don't want anybody in the comments to be like, I watched the video and you're still playing DBD. It's been a week. Like, and if the patch sucks, I'm going to say the patch sucks. I'm not going to tell you guys, oh, I love the patch just because I need the patch to be good. I'd really like the patch to be good. I don't expect the patch to be good. I enjoy the horror asymmetrical genre. I've been playing a lot of Identity V on stream. Killer Klowns comes out in 3 weeks. That's
Killer
another
Klowns.
potential fun for a while. DBD's
Yeah,
got
I'm
ample.
that.
They've got ample time to get their shit together here in the next few months. But like, it's starting to get to that point where I'm even like reaching my limit with how much of that content I can make.
Well, I think it's
So
fair to say, like, I don't think any of us have quit DBD. Like,
Right.
if I want to play it tomorrow,
still play it every
I'll play
few
it tomorrow.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I like DBD, but now I've just, I've been playing indie horror games instead. And if I wake up tomorrow and go, actually, I do fancy some DBD, I'm going to play it. Like,
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they would do to make me want to do that, but
So I make it clear. It's not that I don't like DBD. I just don't think I love it right now. And it'd be very, very easy for me to fall in love with it again if they just made like a couple of good decisions in a row and just gave us literally anything to care about. Because I don't care about game balance. And if you don't care about game balance, where's your passion in DBD at this point?
I have realized. So if they added me, I don't think I'd care that much because I'd be a crap survivor. But if they added Gremlins.
Yeah.
I think I'd be like, I have to go to play DVD.
That was kind of my problem, though, is like, I always thought that DVD, a lot of people always get angry at DVD, and then there's always the content creators being like, is this the end? It's the cycle, and I don't blame people for doing that, but I always thought DVD is more likely to die, not with a bang, but with a whimper. So when we get to the point where people are just like, I just kind of stopped playing. And that's what I thought was particularly weird about the Xenomorph and Chucky coming out, was that a lot of people, they weren't like angry, they weren't incensed, they liked them a lot, but then it was kind of like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, because you're always going to get people who are just like, those idiots, they've balanced the game wrong, I'm quitting, and then they come back anyway because they still care. It's that thing where like love and hate sometimes are closer to each other than apathy.
I think, I'm going to use a weird example here, and I think Doug, you'll appreciate it. It's like John Cena in the wrestling
You're right, that
world.
was quite a weird example, but I love it.
No, because like he's like back in the day, he was hated and loved.
Yes.
Like, but he made you feel something. That was, and that's why he's like one of the biggest names ever. But if a performer comes out and you just feel nothing, that's the whimper of death. That as you say, Xenomorph kind of had that. Like it was really hyped for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then people were like, Ripley looks weird.
It looks really fucking cool. The Xenomorph looks amazing.
Oh.
And there's so many things I like about it. And Chucky too. Like I had a really good time, but then I was just like,
I
didn't really care that much though. And then a lot of people as well, they moved on so quickly. I was like, oh, hang on.
Well, and people are literally fucking leaving the Fog Whisperer program and like being like, I'm done with the game. I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Like that's crazy.
I'm just trying to be cognizant of the fact that how many times have DBD as a community said, "Oh my god, is this the end?"
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
But the game's not going to go. It's just going to go.
No, it's and then maybe
and then it'll probably go back up, and it'll be just
because the new people that don't know, or the new people that haven't experienced anything like that before are going to come in and they won't realize what they're missing, and they won't realize that this is miserable because they enjoy it for different reasons. Like, maybe this is just our like passing of the guard to a different DBD player base, right?
Maybe. Like if I opened up DBD tomorrow and enjoyed the game, like I can't imagine a world like even if I was enjoying the game again, buying cosmetics.
Yeah.
Like these are like layers of issues that I'm sure behavior are probably where might be happening. I don't know if they're like selling loads of cosmetics or whatever, but it'd be interesting to know. But they would never tell us.
We'll know more in a couple weeks when we talk about the reveal of the anniversary, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
But in the meantime, I'm playing a lot of IDV, and I got Killer Klowns coming out here in a couple weeks. So
I'm definitely gonna give IDV another shot. I think I don't know if I'll stream it, but
Could we just sorry out there? We haven't got to decide the second, but we should maybe play Killer Klowns together.
We should definitely. I was about to say we have to play Killer Klowns day one because that's going to be the most fun that we're going to have playing that game.
Yeah.
When is it coming out?
June 3 weeks.
June 4th. Okay. June 4th is the pre-order. You have to pre-order to get it. June 4th. It comes out June 11th for the casuals that don't pre-order.
Fine.
Fine. Well, on that note, do we want to talk about book club next?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Gary's book club selection last week, which was a little game called Viewfinder.
I'm excited. I am particularly excited to hear Doug's perspective, and because I know Doug had a very high opinion of it. He was quite satisfied with my choice.
Yeah, this is my favorite book club game by far so far, including the ones I've chosen for myself. So,
but I haven't heard John or Sinow talk about it, so I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts too.
Well, first of all, how many of us have beaten the game?
I have not. I'm
Okay.
close. I'm on the 4th chapter.
Is it just me?
Yeah, I'm on the 4th chapter as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the game's a bit longer than I thought, but I'm also making it longer for myself because I'm getting all the collectibles and
Same.
doing all the optional challenges. Yeah,
I need to go back and get all the collectibles.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% this one. That we're done talking about it this week. I'm gonna 100% this game. That's like how into it I am. So I like it
that's
a lot.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a significant portion into it, chapter 4. I did find that before going into general thoughts, I did find that there was a bit of a difficulty spike with chapter 4. I think the first 3 chapters, like, I was breezing through it. I was just like,
Same.
this is easy. And I was the cat was being like, wow, great job. That was a tricky one. And I was just like, that was easy as shit. What are you talking about? And I got to chapter 4 and I was like, oh, okay. Now they're annoying. Now the levels are annoying. Okay. But it's still good. It's just taking a lot, like the levels are taking longer than they were. But I'm enjoying the game.
Okay, that's good.
I think that it's, to me, like, I wouldn't use the word annoying only because, like, I haven't found myself frustrated to a point where I was, because so I will say this, and I'm not trying to dog on Silvio. I enjoyed, I'm glad I played Silvio, but there were a number of puzzles in that game where when it was over, I was like, thank God that's over. It wasn't a feeling of like, I'm satisfied that I completed it. It was like, now I don't have to do that anymore. It's like kind of the frustration. And that's just my brain being overwhelmed in that game. But with the Viewfinder puzzles, I feel like when I figure it out, I have that like, that's the one. And then I get like that satisfied feeling where it's like, I nailed it. I got it. Figuring out little stuff. And that, to me, maybe it's because I'm more simple when it comes to games, but like, to me, it feels really, really good when I like figure something out. And then I figure it out kind of quick sometimes. And I'm like, dude, that was probably.
Well, that's my, like, one of my favorite things. And I always use the Resident Evil example of when you find like the spade key and you go, I know where there's a spade door.
Yeah.
And it makes your entire brain light. It's really simple thing. Like, it's like when a child puts the square in the square hole, you know, like it's simple, but it makes your brain happy because you feel smart. And that's what I think that is. And I don't think that's like, that's why I have a very high opinion of Viewfinder.
Same. And what John said, I love when the cat gasses me up. Like, wow, you figured that out fast. That's very clever. I'm like, thanks, cat. That was clever, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I did it.
I love the cat, and you could pet it.
Yeah, I got the achievement for petting the cat.
And he has
Cat's
a Scottish
smarmy
accent.
little fuck.
He does.
Oh, they're Scottish developers, right?
Wait,
I
really?
think so, yeah.
Yeah. Sad
Did you
Owl
guys-
Studios.
Did you guys know they added Scotland to the UK?
Oh my gosh.
It's been big news over here.
It's UK DLC.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because like my opinion of Viewfinder, is I think it's the best puzzle game I've played since Portal 2. I loved it. I thought it was so excellent. I felt like I didn't really feel that giant difficulty spike. I just started to feel more challenged by the game. But I thought that the pacing was generally really good. I thought the level design was paced really beautifully. And the way it introduced new mechanics such as like turning the photographs or I don't know, did you guys get to the photocopiers and teleport?
Yeah.
Lining up the easels was the first time where I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Because when I was playing the game in the early stages, I was like, okay, how many times can you take a picture of stairs and rotate? I'm like, how many times is this gonna get stale? You know? And then like you said, the photocopying was kind of neat. And when I first figured out the first photocopy puzzle, I was really proud of myself.
Yeah.
But then when they started lining up easels, and I was like, I saw the easels, I'm like, I bet when I line these up, it's gonna, and it did, and I was like, that's so cool. And then
I feel like none of the mechanics overstayed their welcome and got used too much to go, I'm bored, like I get it, come on, let me move on to the next thing. I think the voice acting was really good as well. Jesse kind of annoyed me early game. I
want to just rip the thing out of my ear that Jesse's using to talk to me. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Like she started to annoy me less later in the game, but early game I was like, shut up. Let me play the game.
That's the only thing about the game that I didn't like is, Jesse's particularly cheesy. And I know that if it's a game that also kids can play, a little bit cheesy isn't the worst thing. But at one point, she goes like, whoa, did you just stop time? Or something like that. And I was like, it's like the cardinal sin of like writing, like, whoa, did that just happen?
It's like, what was that game that everybody was dogging on?
It was like
Forspoken.
Yeah.
It's like some Forspoken dialogue.
I never played it though, so I don't know if it was
See,
really that bad or if it was just the internet kind of overreacting. But yeah, it
They
was a little
overreacted.
like.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Of course they. Yeah.
See, I fucking loved Jesse. I thought Jesse was cheesy in the best way. I was like, this is so. The whole thing was kind of cheesy, a little cartoon.
I think
it's like
early
being in
game
a
it took some getting
cartoon.
used to.
Man.
Jesse hater.
Yeah, I loved her. I 10 out of 10. If she's not a Viewfinder 2, I won't play it.
I also loved all the filters you could get when playing. I don't know if you guys unlocked any particularly fun filters that you could change for you when you take pictures.
Oh yeah, I got like 10 of them or something like that.
There's one where you can like make it all covered in watermelons,
Yeah.
Aw,
which made me
Very cute.
really happy. I think the game was really well paced and designed. The music was so chill. Like it's a very relaxing game as well, which I think the last time I was that relaxed and like chilled out playing a game was like Flower by that game company.
Oh yeah.
Like I think that's got a very beautiful score as well. I thought it was an excellent game. One of my favorites. I'm glad I picked it because I hadn't played it either. So I went blind.
I would have never played it if you hadn't picked it, and I am genuinely glad you picked it so that I can be like I played that. That was a very, very good game. And again, I want to go back and 100% it. Like I thought it was so tight. If there's DLC, I'll download it. Like I'll get it to play it. Like it was so much fun, dude. I don't know why, because like usually it's like for me a puzzle game is like really hit or miss. Like it'll either frustrate the shit out of me or it'll be like the most delightful experience. And I think that I was naturally good at Viewfinder. Like I think I'm like naturally like, and so it makes me.
Well, sometimes
like,
it's just different brains work with different puzzles in different ways.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so I guess whatever like the wavelength of the puzzles in Viewfinder were like worked right with my brain, and I was just like, this is so fun, and like I would get so excited when I would make like I don't know, just little stupid stuff that's probably not that big of a deal, and then like you said, like the brain happy stuff, like the little squeaky noise when you pick up a squeaky
Brain
toy.
happy.
I found a new collectible and it made a little squeaky sound. You know, the voices, the cat voice was so soothing and so everybody's gassing you up forever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gas
game.
up in that. I really like that one sequence when you do the multiple photos and it's the different art styles.
Oh,
so at one point it's like very basic, like a child's drawing, and then it's yeah. I thought that was very cool.
Those little special moments I thought really stood out. Like there's the Tamagotchi type plant in water as well, and I was like, that's just adorable. Like it's just such a nifty little addition that just makes it has nice little moments that stick in your mind that just feel very beautifully crafted. I had the same problem. I was like, I didn't want to let it die. I was like, there's an achievement for this, surely, and it wasn't.
I couldn't find. There wasn't an achievement because I couldn't find one either. I kept trying to get. I got my plant to grow multiple times, and then it stopped. And then I would like do the pattern, and I would try and mix the pattern.
Yeah, like the bumblebees like around it. I was like, okay, if that was an achievement, I'd have got it by now.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get bees on mine. It didn't fully bloom. I couldn't get it to fully bloom.
I overwatered mine and it died.
Maybe I'm not good at the game.
I don't think I did that Tamagotchi thing.
Yeah, it was you found a Tamagotchi.
It?
It was like I think I was in the third level, a third zone or whatever. You'd find a purple Tamagotchi, and you could interact with it like a picture. So you put it up, and then you place it, and then it's like in the environment, and you can go up and there's 3 buttons you can press.
There's also one interesting thing, like a barcode you could put. I don't know if you guys saw that. You put a barcode out, and then you can jump into the barcode, and it becomes a forest.
No,
I didn't see that one.
Very interesting.
I think my favorite segment in the whole game too was when you went to like the level where it was like a classic 2D like walking sim. You know what I'm talking about? Like a 16-bit or even an 8-bit, like a dungeon crawler where you're like walking around.
Oh my god, I forgot about that bit.
That was the coolest part to me because I was like, I like got goosebumps. This is so nostalgic for when I used to play games back in the day. Like, this is like some fucking Dragon Warrior stuff or like, what was like a choose your own adventure style cave thing. It was like a mud or something.
Yeah, you can see why Viewfinder won awards and BAFTAs and stuff because I think it's a very beautifully crafted, well-designed game as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, along that line, it was quite nice to play a horror game where not only do you have the ability to rewind very quickly because it's a game where you have to like look at things and then try something out. So it's like, I'm going to put the photo here. And then sometimes after you put the photo there and then you go in and you explore how you've changed the environment, you're like, oh, that's not quite right. I've like accidentally cut something off. So it was nice to not only have a rewind function, but the game has a rewind function that remembers when you have done something in particular. So you can be like, I want to go 2 steps back in my solution, but not just restart the whole level. And it's really easy to keep doing that and going back and forth. And it shows you very quickly how to do that so that you're not sitting there like, oh, I have to just jump off the level to restart. because I've done something wrong every time.
I think it's like the best rewind function I've probably seen since like Brine. Is it Brine? The 2D game where it's a puzzle game again where you reverse time.
I never played that one. That Jonathan Blow game.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
One of my favorite moments in the game was the first time I ever got a battery. Like, without even thinking, the first thing I just fucking threw it off. And I got the achievement for throwing the battery off. And I just was like, I'm just checking this. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it...
I made that Roomba fall off, too.
Oh, yeah, the Roomba,
nice.
Nice. You guys are little rabble rousers. I don't think I even have the achievement for throwing the battery off.
No, I don't have that one. I didn't do that. I was like, this goes
limited
here.
Creativity.
Yeah. Look at you guys. You guys coloring inside the lines, man.
Yeah. I'm going to do the puzzle correctly.
Follow the rules.
Oh, I'm particularly happy to see like Doug's face light up with this game as well. Look how happy he looks.
Man. It's such a fun game, dude. It's like really, really good. And I was like, I didn't go into it expecting to like it a lot. I was like, this game, like, it'll probably be more fun than I'm like used to having playing a single player game. But then it like blew my expectations away. I was just like, damn, this is like you said, I think it's just a combination of the music and the atmosphere and the art direction and just like the kind of the way that everybody like, it's just a lot of positive feedback and a lot of positive emotions. And like, I play games a lot that are like the opposite. I play a lot of horror games and a lot of dark games. So
there's not much about Viewfinder to go, that could be improved. Like generally just like, no, they kind of nailed it. Like, I don't know what I would change.
I can't think of anything, that I would change about it.
Reminded me a bit of The Witness. If The Witness is
I
haven't
played it.
The Witness it's very good, but I actually didn't like it at first, and then I tried playing it a second time, and then I started to like it.
All right,
it's a tough one.
I've heard I'll like that because it's like apparently it's a bit Outer Wilds-y.
Well, it's very similar to Viewfinder, but it's all line puzzles. Of you have to get the line from point A to point B and variations of that. So it's a very dense game because like towards the end you start picking up like podcasts that are like 50-minute long philosophy talks and stuff like that, and you're like, what the hell is going on? But it makes a very interesting point about the world that we live in being very geometrical. And my favorite part of The Witness is that there's hidden puzzles where if you just look at buildings in a certain way, you realize that the building itself is a line puzzle that you can trace, and you get like secret rewards for that. And I was like, that's actually very cool because that's basically the point of the game. Like there's patterns in nature, basically, is a lot of the point of it. But when I first played it, I was like, is it gonna always be line puzzles? The whole thing is take the dot from point A to point B without hitting these things. Like, yeah, it took me a while to get into it.
Sinow, have you seen the parody of The Witness called The Looker?
Yes. And I also love that game.
It's like line puzzles, but they're easily solved. Like they're
really dumb.
They're kind of a joke. Yeah, they're really dumb.
Oh, it's such a good game. I love The Looker too.
Interesting to see that.
Yeah. Reminds me of Pissed, which is a piss take of Mist.
I never played that one.
I never played Pissed, but I've definitely played Mist because I always reference it. But
I never beat Myst, the original Myst. I would play it as a kid and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I would just stop after a while.
There was four boys when we were about like 9-10 years old that we managed to get to like the tree level in Myst. And that was like, oh my God, Graham got to the tree level because we had like a computer in the corner of the class that if we did our work really quickly, we could play on, and Myst was on that, and it was like legendary status of like, Graham's worked it out. Whoa. And we all like crowd around the computer. No, but none of us really knew how. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know. The runes, they spoke to me. We're all like, oh, you're a god. But yeah, it was really fun to play Myst as an adult and be like, wow, I was really fucking dumb as a kid, but also see why I was so enraptured.
It's like every game that I play as an adult that I played as a kid, and I was like, this is impossible. I play it now, and I'm just like, this is easy.
Yeah, well, I just played Resident Evil 5 again, and I was like, this is really easy. As a kid, I struggled with like everything.
As a kid?
As a kid, yeah.
Like 13, 14, you mean?
Yeah. I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah, like that ogre boss in the van, like when you've got like, the gun. I remember that being an absolute nightmare for me when I was younger.
Oh,
and then on stream I did it first try, I was like, oh, never mind. It's like warning chapter. This is a fight. I'm gonna die a lot here, and then I just.
This is gonna be hard, guys.
Gary's over here like, that was so difficult when I was a 27-year-old child, but now I'm an awesome 34.
That's what I'm saying. Am I old? Because man, that game came out when I had already re-enlisted in the military. That's crazy.
You are unfortunately a little older.
That's okay.
Just
Also,
when I was
also
in
wiser.
college for
Also
that one.
wiser, right, guys?
He's
So
so wise.
Thank you
Before
very much.
I'm sure we're probably segueing into like the next book club game idea. But before we do that, can I just talk about another game that I played, and I just really want to talk about how good it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it. Tell
Granny.
us. I know.
Granny's a
Alright.
banger.
I knew he was gonna
I want
say
to talk
Finally,
about.
someone else in my corner on this. Go
Oh,
ahead,
yeah,
Gary.
I finally got round to playing because I'm going to play like Baldi's Basics and some of the other indie horror games I never got round to. But I played Granny this week, or last week, and I gotta say one of my favorite indie horror games I've ever played. I thought Granny slapped. I think the first one in
Slaps.
particular has some of the best level design and game like pacing that I've come across. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable, and I thought I was going to play it for like an hour and then play Granny 2 and 3. And I thought I was going to have one stream. I played Granny, like, I think I got like 1.5 streams out, like 6-7 hours of just playing Granny. And then Granny 2 I played, which was, I think I'd got used to Granny at that point. So it was a bit easier.
Yeah.
And then Granny 3 was great as well. Like, just all three of them, I thought, I hope they do a fourth one. I thought, yeah. I was just so impressed by the way the level design was, like, articulated and the way it all functioned. And then there's difficulty settings, so you can go in and have a harder time with it. And there's a few things that annoyed me about it, but generally I thought it was excellent.
Is it mostly just like a kind of you get chased type of horror game?
Yeah, Granny's just like wandering around the house, and you have to find items to progress to like
the main gameplay isn't really chase, it's inventory puzzles.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're avoiding Granny while you're doing it.
Yeah, so you're like trying to find the keys to the front door and like how to like get through the basement, and there's like 3 different exit points in the first one.
So now, did you ever play Stay Out of the House by Public Combo?
Yes.
So he basically modeled that game after Granny.
Oh, okay.
Like very, very overtly. That's pretty much what it's like.
Granny is the type of game that I believe you guys when you say it's good. Like, I'm definitely going to go play it now, but it's definitely the type of game where at first I was like, it's one of those like, it's so bad it's funny horror games that you can make like a YouTube video out of very easily. But I've noticed over the years that people have not forgotten Granny. People seem there's something about Granny. I still hear people talk about it years later. So I believe you guys when you say that it's has to be played to be believed. Perhaps that there's something.
Yeah, I went with a very low opinion.
You have to get into it for sure. It's like you have to get invested in escaping. Because you can just kind of play it. Like, that's how I originally played it. Was just like, what is this, guys? Well, Grant, whoa, don't get me. You know, but once you get invested in, like, I actually kind of want to escape now. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I want to escape
brings it.
every way. I was like, wow, I've got out the exit now. I want to try getting out with the front door, which is
the car.
Difficult.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to escape, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was excellent. And actually, I was
almost sounds a bit like briefly. Clock Tower.
In the third one, like I had to stop my stream and just talk about these 2 lockers that I came across, and there's 2 lockers, and when you just spawn, when you start the game, you go down to the basement area where there's like a train thing. I think it's the second, maybe it's the second one. I think it's the third one. There's these 2 lockers, and one's been slightly knocked over. You can hide in one of them, but it's like turned to the side. And I was like, there is like world like lore going on here. There's a bit of world building of like someone's knocked into this locker and it's knocked over this one of the doors off its hinge. I was like, that's someone's designed these lockers to look this way, and it's an attention to detail which just shows they care. And I think that's one thing I would say throughout Granny is you can be like, they crafted this. There's passion behind this game, and the models are hilarious.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of humor to it too.
Yeah,
because
I will say, wanna go?
Granny's voice acting, for one, is just like purposefully pretty bad.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's got a bit of a cheese camp factor to it.
The only bit I didn't like in the third one was there's like, because when you die, there's multiple deaths. It's a bit like Dead Space in that sense. So when you die, there's like various ways that you'll be murdered. And in the third one, they lent into it a bit much and did like a meme thing. Like, and those little 8-bit glasses were in one of the scenes.
Yes.
I just looked and I was like, I hate that. I was like, I just hated it. I was like, it just takes me out of it. Like, I'm trying to invest in the world a little bit. I know it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but it's like I'm trying to be in the world a bit, and it just kind of I didn't like
it's a little
that.
too self-aware.
Yeah, but aside from that, I would thoroughly recommend checking out Granny 1, 2, and 3. I think they were excellent.
It's good. People sleep on it. I've been recommending it to people for like 7 years or however long it's been out, and it's like people are like, okay, yeah, sure, but it's legit. It's a banger.
Yeah. Game design gold star.
Yeah.
And you know how picky I can be.
Yeah, we do.
No. I don't think that at all. Not once. So tell me about the two lockers again.
Oh, they're so good. Like one's slightly tilted to the side, the hinge is like broken, and it's so good.
If you want to hear Gary talk about lockers more, twitch.tv/thehotcross.
Chat loved it.
Chat are sycophants. Your chat are sycophants.
The Yes Men loved it.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to playing Baldi's Basics now. That's a good one, right?
So I will say with Baldi's Basics, it's a lot more janky than Granny, and
because Granny worked particularly well.
Yeah, well, Baldi's Basics is a lot more of a meme horror game, and I think it doesn't work as well if you didn't play like the games that's kind of lampooning, like 90s edutainment games, specifically Sonic Schoolhouse and like the Jumpstart games and things like that. Because otherwise, I think a lot of people who didn't play those games really wrote it off. Like they were just like, why does it look and sound like crap? But I haven't played the new Baldi's Basics version because there's Baldi's Basics Plus, which is still being developed, and they're like, they've added tons of stuff to it. So I only really played the Game Jam version of the game. But for a Game Jam game, it's like incredible, in my opinion.
I do like Game Jam games. Yeah, but yeah, John, if you have like this and you, Sinow, and anyone else, like list of like horror games you're like, this is slept on, you should check this out. Please.
Have you heard of Identity V?
I have.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Is it your turn to pick, Doug?
I don't remember. Is it my turn to pick?
It's your turn, Sinow.
Oh, is it my turn to pick? Okay. I was gonna say if it was Doug's turn to pick, then I think I know what you pick. But don't me.
Sinow, no.
I have the good news is that like because I know what kind of person I am and I forget things sometimes, I have like a backup idea for the time that I forget to have a game. And you guys are like, "What's your game, Doug?" I'll be like, "I got this one that I was gonna," but it's not my first choice, but it's a good backup game. You know what I'm saying? So
it's your panic button of like, whoops.
I always gotta have a seatbelt, man. I'm probably not gonna crash, but I'd like to have my seatbelt on
right now.
just in case.
Doug's stalling for him.
I'm doing that. That's literally what we.
No, I already know what I wanted to tell you guys to play anyway.
Oh, is it?
In that case, I'm stealing your fucking thunder. My bad, dude. Go ahead.
So the game I've picked is called The Forgotten City, which is you loved Hypnospace.
You did good. Hypnospace was really good. You're right. Go on.
It's currently 65% off until May 27th.
Wow.
So, for some reason, whenever I pick a game, it's always on sale. I don't know why that is, but
because they're bad.
Because they're bad.
They're trying to move units, dude.
I chose
They're trying to move
Hypnospace,
units.
and you liked it. So
that's capping, bro. Can I play?
Take your cap off.
Can I play?
Can I play? I'm dehydrated. That's what usually Doug says.
You gotta be dehydrated. Yeah.
He's like, you're dehydrated.
Oh, in this weather, yeah.
It's
boiling.
This is one of those games that it's actually quite horror and it's quite spooky, but I think it works best if you don't know a lot about it before you start playing it. So I'm not going to tell you too much, but you'll be quite surprised to hear this is actually a mod based on the Skyrim engine that became its own game.
Ooh,
okay, it sounds very strange.
But it's not. The setting isn't very like Skyrim. It's not like a very kind of like Nordic.
So I'm not playing the Dovahkiin. I'm not going to be Fuzrodaring.
It's more Roman than that.
Oh,
I see. I'm looking at the Steam page right now.
Yes,
I thought John was just bored. He's like texting.
No.
Just
Kimmy, what are we having for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. Ordering some food.
DoorDash.
Should I get Chipotle?
Chipotle sounds really good, actually.
But yes, continue. I think this is the type of game that's best played when maybe with the lights out, or it's quite late at night, or you're able to like soak in the atmosphere a little bit. But it's not too like there's a lot of like talking with the voice lines and stuff. So you're not gonna have to
read. Is it reading?
You're not gonna have to read a lot.
Wait, no, okay. Capping. No,
it's not like a visual novel where you're gonna have to read tons and tons and tons. It's like characters talk to you.
So it's like a Roman game. Is this like that thing that happened on social media recently where people were asking their partners how often they think about the Roman Empire and they were saying like all the time? Is this why?
I don't think about the Roman Empire a lot, but I do think about this game quite a lot. So I guess that's kind of my Roman Empire.
by
So, well,
proxy-
Umin
played
Echo
it.
is my Roman Empire, but
So you've already played it, Sinow.
yeah. I'm gonna replay it though because I last played it a couple of years ago, and I like turned it on, and then for 3 days, nobody could talk to me. I was like sucked in. It was like a really good book, you know. So
Nice.
and it's
I
not
have
super
no
long
idea what that
either.
means.
Yeah, it looks. How long to beat says 6 hours, which for
Yeah.
me is probably like more like 8 or 9, but for you guys, it's probably 6 hours. So it's good. That's good.
Well, it depends on how sucked in I get, and if I'm like, I want to get all the collectibles, because that always happens with me now.
You got to pick up all the little cubes and get the thing that goes boop 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 when you do
What?
the thing.
I love the book club. It's fun.
Me too. I've already played 300% more games I wouldn't have played this year than I would have played this year. Right?
Nice.
300%. It's math. Easy math.
Yeah. Also, John, I love your T-shirt.
Thank you.
What is it?
Thank you. It's
What is it?
it's Cheryl from Silent Hill 3.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather go to hell.
Yep.
That's a good one, actually.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I have an interesting T-shirt on too. You guys see my shirt?
Hello Kitty and Friends.
It's very
Yeah.
cute. I like it.
I got that from Walmart for $8.
Oh, bargain.
Yeah. I think John's shirt is better, but
Oh, I
mine's
agree.
second. Mine's probably
It's
second.
very, very humble of you.
Mine's second.
One last thing I'll just say before we move off of the Forgotten City is that I'm pretty sure it has quick save and quick load, like Skyrim does with F5 and F8. So
Right.
Awesome.
And Baldur's
if you
Gate
know
3.
that,
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
Baldur's
Like
Gate 3.
Skyrim does. Yeah.
Yeah.
so knowing that ahead
Yep.
of time might be nice, just in case you like fuck up something and then you're like, oh. But there
I
you go.
never played Skyrim ever.
I'm not really much of
It's
a Skyrim fan, but
Yeah.
this is kind of separate from that. It just uses
It's
the
no,
same
it's
engine.
no Oblivion or Morrowind.
We don't want anyone to get confused.
Yeah, we
Gotta
need to know that
clarify that.
Sinow doesn't like AAA game Skyrim.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You can tell it's the Skyrim engine because the first time you have a conversation with someone and it like zooms in on their faces, they turn to you, you're like, that's Skyrim right there.
Gotcha.
I love that effect.
Cool.
Me too,
I'm
actually.
looking forward to checking it out. It should be interesting.
But yeah, I think it's better
I-
if I don't tell you guys a lot. So
Yeah, I don't know.
hopefully-
I don't even know what kind of game it is, but you said there's a lot of like stories.
It's like a role-playing game, right?
yeah, it's kind of a little bit of mystery. When you start playing it, you'll be like, oh my god, this is such a Sinow game. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to say much more than that. There's a
Don't say
bit of
anymore.
mystery to it. That's it.
I don't want to know anything.
Okay.
Because then I won't do it. No, I'm just kidding. I just don't.
Yeah, all the reviews, it has like a crazy high. 96% of the user reviews are like overwhelmingly positive. Everybody agrees
weebs.
this is like a fantastic. Oh, shut up.
I've always liked to be in that 4%, pushing
Yeah.
back against the man.
I loved it. Well, cool. This will be
And
fun.
if you hate it, that's also fine, of course.
Thank you.
We're allowed to not like each other. Just
Well,
like,
trying to
well,
fall-
in that
trying to-
case, Kendall Space was a bunch of baloney.
Kendall's Space is fun. I just think you got a really bad draw because following Viewfinder is going to be really hard when it comes to book.
I'm wondering
That's
if
a
maybe
tough
when it
follow.
comes to Doug, you just don't like games that are about a story. Because Viewfinder's story is there, but it's like,
I'll help you find a story.
I mean, The Last of Us is like my all-time favorite game, and Chrono Trigger was my all-time favorite game before I played Last of Us. So I don't think that I'm without my passion.
this is
for a
before
good
you
story.
becoming a DBD content creator,
That's true,
though, right?
But you guys are trying to save me. You guys are doing life support as we speak, making me play good games. So I realize the game that I play is bad. Like you guys,
Clear.
Is that
Yeah.
is that where we went wrong? Like you're like Viewfinders. Is this what fun in a video
Yeah,
game is like?
is this what enjoying your time at the computer is like? Like that's crazy. Listen, I wanna- I
But what
wanna-
rank are you in Viewfinder?
What's my MMR?
If they had ranked, I'll stream it. I'll be done with DVD. I'll be a Viewfinder streamer if they had ranked. Give me more puzzles.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of saying you should become a Pokemon Unite streamer. I don't know if there is enough of an audience out there for you to just magically hop onto that. And I'm sure
I
you're
don't think
wise
there
enough to
is.
know, but it's just fun to see you be passionate about things, Doug.
I know. I'll find something again. But Identity's been a good buffer for right now while I wait on something else. But
Killer
Identity's
Clowns.
smaller.
Never know.
Killer Clowns might be again. I think that's going to be a band-aid. We talk a lot about. We talked maybe really last season or the season before about like the way games come out, and like for the first few weeks they're really great while everybody's discovering things, and then a meta forms, and then that's when the game becomes an esport. So there's like the 3 phases. I think Killer
Midnight
Clowns
Ghost
is gonna-
Hunt.
Yeah, Midnight Ghost Hunt was like the fastest like discovery to esports phase we've ever seen in a game. That came up in my chat today.
Mm.
In
Oh,
Midnight
really?
Ghost Hunt. And people that had no bias from you and I, Gary, had the exact same experience at launch. They were like, wow, I played it for like a week. And then next thing you knew, I had zero fun and I just quit. Never went back.
Yeah.
So, but I think Killer Klowns will have a pretty fast, like, phase 3 will be quick. It'll be quick, yeah. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a lot like Ghostbusters. It'll have a player base, but it won't be. Twitch is not going to be very kind to Killer Klowns after the first couple weeks. I don't.
The first 2 weeks are going to be so much fun, though.
They will. It'll make it all worth
together, the four of us.
It'll make it all worth it. And I would love to play with you guys day one as soon as you guys are ready. But you guys remember Texas Chainsaw? Remember how much joy we felt and remember how much fun that game was for the first like month or so?
I try to focus on those good times.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
me too. And I think we'll get a lot of that out of Killer Klowns, but I think it might even last like less time.
Oh, I think it'll be a week.
Yeah, I think a week would be a really maybe 2 because the first week is pre-orders only, and so a lot of the people will show up week 2 and they'll have been watching streamers and watching videos. I think that
that's true. Oh, I'm gonna have to pre-order it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'll get it on launch and everybody will be already sweaty.
FOMO as well.
They were smart. They're like, if our
I
game's
don't care
gonna
about
die,
that.
we gotta get the pre-orders.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about FOMO. It's so funny.
I want to be left out.
Yeah, we tried to get John with the FOMO on Ghostbusters. Didn't work.
Yeah, John never gave a single
immune to FOMO.
Too strong.
It would have to be something that he actually would care about missing out on, though.
Yeah.
I think with Ghostbusters, you were like,
Silvio 3 is soon,
Ew.
right?
Yeah.
See if I can get early access.
Don't think you'll have that problem.
No.
But okay, well, Killer Klowns to look forward to, and Forgotten City to look forward to. Anything
And
else
life
before
itself.
Yeah.
I think
Anything
that's
else before
really
we sign off for our best episode yet.
Yeah.
it is our best episode for sure. I'm excited about Forgotten City because I've never heard of it ever, and it's about the Roman Empire, and I'm like dorkily kind of into that stuff. So
that's the one thing I want to ask.
Tease you about it. I'm actually excited. What's up?
So there's that thing where men think about the Roman Empire according to that TikTok trend. Do the three of you do that?
No.
I mean, I think about the Roman Empire like every now and then, but it's not like daily, but it's also not like never.
Right.
I would argue that I would assume that I think about it more than any of you guys, but probably not as often as like the everyday guys on Twitter. I think I think about it at least like weekly or monthly. Like if something will come up in my mind, I'll think about it.
Never think about it. The last time I thought about the Roman Empire, I was playing Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's it. Occasionally, maybe like if a pub quiz came and went, who created roads? I might go, oh, the Roman Empire. That's it.
This is kind of similar to the conversation I had with you before, Doug, where you explained to me how with men that you meet in your life, you often think to yourself, could I beat that guy up?
Yeah.
And I never ever think like that. And you and Tally, another friend of ours, was like, yeah, every time you meet a guy, you always think, could I beat them up in a fight? And I'm like, that's how you view the world? Not in like a malicious way.
Dude,
Even,
it's a weird thing. I could tell you another weird one. Maybe I shouldn't tell you on the podcast. I should tell you in case people judge me. I have a weird one that just came up. It just came up this weekend. It's another weird thing that I do, but I can tell you later, and then you guys can tell me if it's okay to say it out loud. You know?
Yeah, we can save it for next time.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
We can start the podcast.
Curiosity makes me want to say just tell us now, but the fact that you've had to think about this makes me think.
Well, I'm also overcautious. Trust me, I'm not gonna like. This is nothing that you guys are gonna like not like me anymore. I hope.
Do you ever see a horse and just think, I bet I could beat that up?
Dude, yeah, but no, you couldn't because horses are huge.
Horses
really
kick
strong,
their shit into you.
I get mad when people talk about like these things, like they have the comparisons, like, well, would I rather, what would I do in a fight against a bear or against a moose? And it's like you would die, bro. Like,
You would just
I'd eat both of
they're
those.
so powerful. Like you have no idea.
Yeah.
The
There's
strongest
a reason
dude on
why
earth. would be
horsepower
buckled with
is
me.
a phrase.
Yeah.
Right.
I could not fight a horse. I wouldn't want to. I'd want to befriend it.
And I couldn't outrun it either.
No.
Fast.
Now that I might be. Depends if it's a fat horse. I can probably get it. I've been running a lot, dude. I'm running a marathon. I'm running a marathon in December, bro. If it's a fat horse or like a donkey, maybe police horse, because you know those guys aren't working out, right? I could run it. I can outrun it. For sure.
No, the police horses in the UK are pretty hench.
Yeah, they're lean.
I was talking about NA ones, bro.
Oh.
I mean,
I didn't even know you had police horses in the
Well,
US.
surely in like Texas, cowboys.
I mean,
the
there's
Mounties.
one
lassoing
every
criminals.
now and then, but it's a rarity. It's an absolute rarity. They
I
usually
doubt it.
use these things
I
called
doubt it.
cars to get around.
Oh, I always like to think in Texas, like the sheriff goes around on the horse.
Nope.
I like to think it's like
Big hat of a star on it.
fucking Silverado out there, bro. Jeez.
No, I've
Oh,
probably
man.
seen
Calm
2
down,
police officers on horseback in my life.
This
I've
is
been in Texas
bullshit.
my whole life.
Texas,
You know what's funny?
fix it.
I run into horses when I'm hiking in Washington. People will take their horses out on the hiking trails and hike on horses. We're just talking
And then
about
you're
horses, right?
Come at me, bro.
No,
want some?
dude. I already told you I don't want to. I done knock the guy off the horse, but I'm not going to fight the horse.
Why are you knocking the guy off the horse?
Because you put me in a fight just now, and I had to just justify it.
Because you
for a
bumped
knee.
into his horse. Why did you bump into his horse, Doug?
I wouldn't. I get that because I would respect and get the fuck out of the way if the horse is coming through.
If you knocked
That's
over
how-
the horse's owner, the horse might attack you.
It's the most 2024 thing in the world to be like, your horse shouldn't have ran me over. It's like, get out of the way of the horse. It's a horse.
Yeah,
It's not about
who's
who's being-
2024 thing.
It's like, do you want to be right or do you want to get trampled by a horse? Get out of the way. Right? Okay. All right. I'm done.
So
Possibly
you've,
the only horse-centric 2024 thing.
Yeah.
so you've thought about beating the 3 of us up before.
No. You don't. You make it out. You make it out like I'm fantasizing about it.
No.
It's about survival, bro.
So when I
It's
met
like,
you
what-
at the airport, Doug, did you just go? Did you size me
Gary,
up first?
When you said I thought you'd be taller, you would not imagine the thing I imagined in my head.
Yeah,
Doing
don't clutch
next.
your pearls at me for insinuating
You don't
that you've
know.
thought about beating us up. And then when you
What?
say that to Gary,
I would. When you said I thought you'd be taller, I'm like, I'll show you how fucking tall I am, Gareth.
I turned him
That's
on.
what I thought.
I put him.
Right
I put
now.
him in his place, and he was like,
this does sound a little...
No, wait, cut. Can we cut this part out? Can this
Absolutely not.
cut out?
Sounds like
It's
work.
like, Doug, you've given us the 2 best moments of the podcast so far. Doug's DBD rant and Doug's homoerotic encounter with Gary at the airport, apparently.
Apparently that's a
I'm
bad
even
thing.
better looking in person. Is the
Yeah, I
trouble.
was gonna say, is that a bad thing? You guys blame me? You've seen him, right? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've all seen him in person, right?
Yeah, and then
blame
you
me?
thought about beating him up, apparently.
Yeah, I've never thought
No,
about
I
beating
just
up
thought-
Gary.
I thought you've never wondered what if Gary turned? What if he turned on you? You don't
Why
know.
would Gary be turning?
You don't know. Who knows, dude? We don't know what's
dark
going on in that
urge.
fucking brain. Yeah, exactly, dude.
The 5G brain
If he-
control
if he-
device is going to
Yeah.
get
It's
it.
not about. See, everybody always makes it about attacking someone. It's about defending yourself, bro.
Okay.
Do I give off?
Okay.
Doug, do I give off violent vibes to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit, Gary, we were alone in my car a lot of times, dude. We talked about some stuff on some long drives.
I was like looking through my Twitter. There's like a quote. I think you tweeted it out or something, and I responded. I was like, I'm surprisingly violent. I can't remember what the context was.
Yeah. Gary said something about like, I'm surprisingly okay with violence, he said, or something like that. And I was like, I'm gonna tweet that, Gary. And he said, don't tweet that. They won't know the context. It's funny. Anyways.
My favorite
not-
quote, I think, from that weekend was like, I handed you some dollars to buy some McDonald's or something. Like I was paying my share, and you're like, "What are we in? The Walking Dead?" Seems like money.
What are these
like
ca-
proper money?
What is this, a fucking Walking Dead? Put the money away, Gary. I have a card for that. God, stop it.
But I guess then your mentality is kind of like when people think, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? What would you do if you
Exactly.
had to defend
If you
yourself
had
against
to,
Gary?
it's all about like things that you're forced into doing. You know what I mean? Like I've never once been like, I want to beat up John or I want to take a swing at Gary. Like, do I even know for a
You
fact
really
that-
haven't thought that at least once? No, just
Well, there was the time that we argued about Friday the 13th. I think both
I mean,
of us wanted to hit each other, but you
I'm
know.
assuming that Doug's could I beat this guy up scenario is mostly aimed at strangers and not friends.
Absolutely, yeah. It's typically
Yeah.
like when you walk into an unsafe space, and I've never been
Right.
in an unsafe space with you guys.
you have been in an
any
unsafe space.
case. Yeah, but we were together.
Spine Chill
so
podcast.
This is I want to believe this
I'm
is a
just
safe
kidding. I'm just
space,
kidding.
but no. You know, like when we were at TwitchCon and stuff, right? We're in some dangerous spots. We're in some
Yeah.
dangerous haunts.
Yeah,
Gary's
it was-
looking
yeah.
hungry.
But I never would have fought with you guys.
That's when I'm like, okay,
about
Gary
collective
could get
power.
My
violent.
turn.
He's hungry. The zombie
could turn
apocalypse
any
starts with
moment.
Gary.
I'll tell you this much: if you really want to ask me a fucked up question, who do I think I would have to defend myself against? It would definitely be Gary. Of all the three of you, I would think Gary would be the most likely to turn and attack me. I don't think John would attack me ever, and I don't think Sinow would attack me ever. But I think that
I don't think
Gary,
it would matter if I tried to attack you anyway.
99.9% chance that Gary won't ever try to attack me, but he's the 0.1 in Spine Chill. If I thought there's one person capable of attacking me,
Do you think he makes
So
that one day?
It's all the press ups. He's like, Gary's training for something.
he works out, all right? He's put his fucking abs on Twitter, okay? He's obviously strong, right? He and I have probably had the most strong arguments of it, and I think that Gary and I are very close, and I would never attack you, Gary. But do I know
You would
that
have a
you'd never
chance.
attack me?
You'd be-
Yeah,
you'd be
see,
down.
he said some shit like that, and then you guys are like, "What would you think about punching Gary?" Yeah, okay, okay.
So it's
have a
Gary's
chance.
fault that you've thought about
didn't-
punching Gary.
I didn't say it's anybody's fault. I'm just saying you have to size people up to know what you would have to do and where you need to be and how you need
This
to
is
position
such
yourself in the room.
this is such a weird way to end the podcast.
People are like,
I don't know if
we've
I've
lost
done
the
well
plot
here or done
completely.
poorly on this one, but I kind of like this. It's
What do
been a
you
pretty
think,
funny one.
listeners?
Oh yeah, we
do you
haven't
think?
even acknowledged our 5th co-host.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Who do you
How
think
rude
would
of
win the
us.
fight?
I bet I
Imagine a
could beat-
who do you think
four-way
would win a
battle
fight?
royale. Who's coming
Yeah.
out on top?
I bet I could beat that guy up.
John, please sign us out.
All right.
Please.
Well, best season ever? I don't know.
Kappa. I said Kappa.
For the first time, I'm
Kappa.
unsure.
I think
But,
it was
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Well,
I think it had a lot of variety.
yeah.
Best season
it was-
ever.
I like
yes,
looking at the
that's
camera.
for sure.
Best season ever.
It's like we're in
What
the
did you
office.
think?
What did you think, fifth co-host?
I was kidding about the fighting thing.
He wasn't.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Spine Chill episode 48. We had a great time talking about Dead by Daylight and Baldur's Gate 3 and Viewfinder and beating each other up.
And Granny.
And Granny. How can
Yeah.
I forget?
Granny.
And on behalf of all four of us, Gary the Hot Cross,
Hit
Sinow
with
Beats.
notes.
Doug Running Man. Yeah, I had to remember what you guys' names.
It looked like
Look
you
at the
read
notes.
like a
You
bit of
see, he
paper
looked, he
there.
looked over at the notes, dude. He's
Really
like,
did
what's the
look
guy's
like-
name again?
Yeah.
Who
What was his
are
name
these
again?
people?
What's his
What's his
fucking
name?
name again? Gary?
All right, yeah. Well, on behalf of all of us, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hugs and kisses. Bye.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Farewell.